All right. So, hello, everyone. My name is Yasha Tay, the queen of Fix Your Crown Again podcast, and I'd like to welcome you to this platform where my mission is to empower my kings and queens to live on purpose by sharing pearls of wisdom and being intentional. My vision is to empower people to love while letting go of the hurts and pains of yesterday so that we can be restored. Can you believe it is yet another week? And we are excited about our 2020 mission. For those of you who are new to the channel, we are exploring the 12 extraordinary women of the Bible. This is, just in case you missed all the rest, this is our bonus session. We're going to tap in with my girl Eve just one more time. I know I said we're going to just do her once every week, but she was so important to the foundation of who we are as women and to the foundation of the rest of the generations that we are doing a bonus session. I want to take the time to give my guest the opportunity to just introduce herself, tell you guys a little bit about her, and so the floor is open to you.
Hello, everyone. My name is B. I'm originally from Chicago, just relocated to the DMV area like the last 3 months. And I recently was able to meet your wonderful host. And we've just clicked from day one. And she's a mighty woman of God. And I'm very excited to be a guest on this podcast, to be able to just have an open conversation about the principles of this amazing woman that's in the Bible and of Eve, and that there's just so many details that are described in the book of Genesis about Eve that when I originally read it some years ago, God gave me so many great revelations about it that I'm excited to share and have a conversation with you guys for.
All right, all right. So I just want to take the opportunity to give a quick shout out. Just in case you're wondering what my lips are popping, they popping. This is Orange Slice, and it is made by Charismatic Beauty. Ms. Pendergrass is the founder of this beauty line, and she has some amazing lip colors, and I happen to have on the Orange Slice. I plan to drop her link in my video comments whenever I do post this video. And so just in case you're wondering, Charismatic Beauty, popping lips on Slice. Okay. All right, so let me stay focused. So what we're going to do, we're going to talk about Eve, y'all. If you have not seen the other series or episodes, I just give you the advice to just rewind, go check out series 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is a bonus series. So we're talking about Eve. Eve was the mother of all living things. Eve was the one that God made. He didn't just scoop her up from no dirt. He made her. He made her from a redundant bone, the rib of Adam, right? So in my previous series, I know y'all got a little bit upset because, I used to be that woman. I used to be that woman to say, I don't need a man. I'm good by myself. I'm all that. None of that has changed, except for the fact that I now know that there could not have been an Eve if there wasn't an Adam.
Yes.
Right? And so I'm about to step on some fella toes too. Now think about it. God took the bone, the rib from your side to create Eve, which was that to complete you. So I say all that to say this. Eve needed Adam and Adam needed Eve because it was all in the principle and alignment of God. So I'm gonna stop right there and I'm gonna let B.
Yes.
And we can have this nice sister dialogue on this beautiful afternoon. So what's your viewpoint? Tell us a little bit about what you see.
So let's take it back a little bit. When I received the revelation, it was during the time that I was studying for a physiological class to complete my bachelor's degree. And we were going over the skeletal system. And I was also in tandem going through the beginning of the Bible. And so when I was studying for class and it was breaking down the importance of the structure of the ribs, that is literally protecting our most vital organs, not just one organ, it's several vital organs as at the end that the ribs are protecting. And the fact that God chose the rib, which is also a very delicate and fragile bone as well, speaks volumes to what our genuine makeup, what the core of our makeup is as a woman. You know, yes, we are very strong and we are able to protect life, and we're also very fragile and to be handled a particular way. Taking it even further, when we're performing CPR to like help to resuscitate a person, ribs are unfortunately broken in that process of like trying to bring up a person back to. And so all of those things are just very great examples of how easy, how strong, and how fragile we have as women are for our principal origins. And so I want to also piggyback that you were mentioning that, you know, we're created from man, that we're all in this cycle of like reliance and dependency and origin. Our origin story are intertwined. And so standing alone, yes, we have such great strengths, but it's so much more of a bigger picture when we're able to work together.
Awesome. So it kind of goes back in the Bible where it talks about us being a helpmeet, you know, and in the previous series, I talk about how God gave, he was so strategic. It said that he never talked about Eve's beauty, how she looked in the Bible, right? And it also says that his focus was more on her role as Adam's helpmeet, and her role as the mother of all living things, that he didn't even bring up her beauty, but she was the first one he made. So it is said that he gave Eve like 80% of the beauty, and then everyone else he gave to the rest of us. And so I know that we some bad looking sisters now. So if we're beautiful, can you just imagine how she looked? But he was strategic about never even mentioning her beauty, because he wanted us to realize that the core of who she is, the reason why I made her, is bigger than her outer beauty, outer appearance. And so that was just very profound to me. And like you said, the delicacy of the rib.
But we carry such a responsibility. That rib is delicate, but it carries the responsibility of the. Yes. What do you mean? I'm protecting. And that goes not just physiologically. We as women, we have to protect our men.
Yeah.
We have to protect their heart. Their breathing, like their anxieties, and like we have the ability. It's within us. We have the ability to protect these things that are the most sacred and vital portions of existence.
Yeah. And so when you talk about, you know, as women, we have to protect. And so I know one thing about this platform, my ministry, is just being transparent. And a lot of times I know for me, let me speak about me. I know for me, there are times that I love with limits, because I've been hurt. I've been disappointed. I felt like I have been, the heartbeat of situations, and it just wasn't appreciated. However, I still believe, because I'm kind of diving into next month. We're going to be talking about Sarah. And Sarah believed, even though she was barren, y'all, she could not have children. But God promised her husband that he was going to be the father of all nations. So let's think about this. How in the world, I'm Sarah, right? I can't have any children, but God told my husband that he's going to be the father of all nations. This doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this doesn't even make sense. So it took a certain level of faith, belief, trust, and believing for Sarah to even stand still and trust what God had aligned and assigned. And so oftentimes I know people talk about Eve, or she made Adam eat the fruit. That's not what this series is about. We're talking about how God knew that Adam needed a helpmeet, and how he made, built, constructed Eve from his rib. And so we are definitely intertwined. We are important to each other. And we have to stop believing the lie that we're okay by ourselves. I mean, and like I said, let me make it clear. If you're in a relationship where you're being abused physically, mentally, emotionally, and leaving is the best thing for you to do, then all by all means, that's not what I'm saying. But if you are not loving because you are afraid to love, if you're not loving because you feel like, oh, I don't need anyone, just let God heal your heart. Let him minister to you so that you understand that in the beginning he made woman from man. And so we would not even be here in an existence if God didn't see it necessary. So just wanted to drop that down.
Just make question. I really should have been taking notes. I'm gonna keep. You hit on quite a few points. Before we even get to the point of the apple, the fruit being ate, what are the gems that we can really take away before we made it to that point that sticks out? You were also mentioning that I wanted to mention that what does it look like being capable of providing protection for said man as a rib and being a helpmate? And it's not always what we can do on our actual action plane, but also us being able to intercede and God and covering our man, and that's also another demonstration of protection as well, protecting our men through prayer and handing situations over to God, so it goes beyond just like physical and action based things. Like spiritually, we need to be protecting our men.
Yeah, I agree. That is really, 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 really profound, because a lot of times, the word says that the man is the head. I feel like the woman is the backbone, because and there's instances where the woman, I feel like we are sometimes more sensitive in the spirit to what God is telling us, to be still, to trust him. We're more sensitive to understanding that we have this unique element that God, he made us to be woman, to be not to be the protector. We are supposed to be the helper, the provider, not the provider, like the helper, the nurturer. And in nurturing is protection. Because
yes.
It talked about in the book, it said how God said, Adam was the protector and the provider and the leader, and Eve was the mother, the nurturer, the helper. But even in nurturing, there's a certain level of help and protection that goes along with it. And so this is just such a great topic. I'm just excited that God has laid this series on my heart. And I mean, 12 extraordinary women in the Bible. He gave it to me at the end of 2024. So the whole year we'll be covering one amazing woman from the Bible. And I just want to invite each and every one of you to DM me, to reach out. Email is fixyourcrown, again, at yahoo.com. FIXYOURCROWN, again, at gmail.com. I'm also inviting our fellas to the table. Like, this conversation is not just for my queens, it's for my kings as well, because I know my ministry covers both. But we've touched on so many great topics. And so protection. just protection. Like you said, so many vital organs is surrounded by the rib. So many, a heart,
Lungs, baby.
Your lungs, you can't breathe, your breath, your blood system, all that, how your blood get around your body is through your heart.
How does that, and these are great points, but what does that look like, from a woman's perspective, if we are talking action based, making sure that the house is clean, if making sure, presenting an environment that is of a relaxed space so that they do have an at ease breath in your presence,
His breath. Come on. Okay, come for me. I see. All right.
So there's just so many demonstrations that we possess as women to like really demonstrate this protection.
Yeah.
Setting the environment is a safe space.
That's where I wanted to touch is, Myles Munroe. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with him, but he was a pastor from the Bahamas. When I tell you spiritual father of mine, this man is still changing lives. And that's why I'm so passionate about walking in purpose and assignment, because he's passed away. Him and his wife passed away in an airplane crash together. But that's what he talks about. He said the world beat our men up so bad. They're in competition in society. Life is just life, and they have a lot to carry. It doesn't matter how heavy things are. We expect for them to still pick up the torch and keep going. So when they come home, yeah, the grass might need to be cut. Yeah, you want this. But when they come home, they should be able to say that I have now shut the door to the rest of the world. Yes. And I'm in my place of peace. She is my peace. Home is my peace. And so I just encourage my sisters that we've gotten away from a lot of the teachings of our grandparents. I know for myself, grandparents are getting younger and younger, but the core and the lessons should not change. There's a lot of women. I'm about to step on some toes. Y'all don't know how to cook. Y'all don't know how to clean a house. Y'all don't know how to go get your oil changed if it needs to be changed. I mean, I know how to do it, but I just encourage you ladies to understand the power, the influence that you have as a woman, not to be manipulative, but the power that you pose as a woman. And sometimes you give all that you can and they just don't appreciate it. God is able to heal even a broken heart. But who you are, when you know your worth as an Eve, honey, you just understand that you have just ran into the wrong Adam. So just encourage you to love, to walk in the fullness of who you are as a woman, understand what you are called to and for. Any last words? I try not to have my dual podcast over 20 minutes. So we're right at 18:30. So, but any last minute nuggets that you want to drop, B?
This has been so refreshing. I look forward to just seeing the progression of your podcast and your ministry in this department. I see great things. This flowed amazingly. I definitely felt God. I'm very grateful for this opportunity. And thank you all for listening. And thank you, God.
Right. For the revelation. It's amazing how God will give you revelation in the midst of just the oddest situations. And so I just encourage you guys. I am looking to do some live events through my podcast where I'm able to invite you on stage. So look out. And once again, I'm Yasha Tate, the queen of Picture Crying Game podcast, where my mission has not changed. It's to change lives while being transparent and living on purpose. Until next time, I'll see you.